Are you ready for a story of Frog and Toad? Are you ready for a story of Frog and Toad? Here comes a story about Frog and Toad. Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to read a story called The Letter by Arnold Lobel from the book Frog and Toad Are Friends. Are your listening ears wide open? Okay, here we go. Toad was sitting on his front porch. Frog came along and said, "What's the matter, Toad? You are looking sad." "Yes," said Toad, "this is my sad time of day. It is the time when I wait for the mail to come. It always makes me very unhappy." "Why is that?" asked Frog. "Because I never get any mail," said Toad. "Not ever?" asked Frog. "No, never," said Toad. "No one has ever sent me a letter. Every day my mailbox is empty. That is why waiting for the mail is a sad time for me." Frog and Toad sat on the porch, feeling sad together. Then Frog said, "I have to go home now, Toad. There is something that I must do." Frog hurried home. He found a pencil, a piece of paper. He wrote on the paper. He put the paper in an envelope. On the envelope, he wrote, "A letter for Toad." Frog ran out of the house. He saw a snail that he knew. "Snail," said Frog, "would you please take this letter to Toad and put it in his mailbox?" "Sure," said the snail. "Right away." Do you see Frog writing a letter? He's writing a letter with a pencil on a piece of paper. And then he put it in an envelope. Do you see the envelope? Right there. And who did he give it to? He gave it to a snail that he knew. And he asked the snail to deliver the letter to Toad's house. Let's see what happens next. Then Frog ran back to Toad's house. Toad was in bed taking a nap. "Toad," said Frog, "I think that you should get up and wait for the mail some more." "No," said Toad. "I am tired of waiting for the mail." Frog looked out the window at Toad's mailbox. The snail was not there yet. "Toad," said Frog, "you never know when someone may send you a letter." No, said Toad. "I do not think anyone will ever send me a letter." There he is in bed. Toad And who's that? His friend Frog. What is he doing out the window? Remember? Frog looked out the window some more. The snail was still not there. But Toad, said Frog, someone may send you a letter today. Don't be silly, said Toad. No one has ever sent me a letter before, and no one will ever send me a letter today. Frog looked out the window. The snail was still not there. Frog, why do you keep looking out that window? Asked Toad. Because now I'm waiting for the mail, said Frog. But there won't be any mail, said Toad. He's getting a little frustrated. There's Frog. And now they're looking together out the window. Oh, yes, there will be some mail today, said Frog, because I have sent you a letter. You have? Said Frog. Well, what did you write in that letter? I wrote, Dear Toad, I am glad that you are my best friend. Signed, your best friend, Frog. Oh, said Toad, that makes a very good letter. Then Frog and Toad went out onto the front porch to wait for Snail. They sat there, feeling happy together. There they are on the front porch. Frog and Toad waited a very long time, 4 days actually, and 4 days later, Snail got to Toad's house and gave him the letter from Frog. Toad was very pleased to have it. There he is, getting his letter. Boys and girls, have you ever gotten a letter in the mail? Well, I was thinking that this is a great opportunity since we're home a lot and we can't go see our friends or go to school to write a letter. So what did Frog need to write his letter to Toad? Do you remember? He needed a pencil, piece of paper, and an envelope. But there's something else that we need to send mail. We have a postal service, but we need to put a stamp on. Okay, a letter. This is a letter a friend sent me. And when I got this letter, I was very happy. And I think you can make somebody happy too by sending them a letter. And then they'll send you a letter back. So I've got some other letters to show you that I've gotten. Okay, and maybe you noticed that some letters are in envelopes. Like Frog put his letter in an envelope. But this letter that my friend sent me, he didn't even put it in an envelope. Isn't that interesting? He just folded the paper, this really nice thick paper. He just folded it up the special way. And he used the white part of the paper to put the address. And then in the back, he sealed it. And I thought this was kind of cool because he sealed it with wax. And do you know where wax comes from? Bees make wax, right? And we've been talking a lot about bees. So there you go, boys and girls. That's our story for today, the letter. And I think just one more thing I wanted to mention, because we talked about feelings this week. We talked about a feeling that starts with the sound On Tuesday, our sound of the day was And we talked about the feeling of sadness, kind of a pensive, thoughtful sadness called melancholy. And I'm thinking that Toad is quite a melancholy amphibian. He's quite often a little melancholy. And in the story, The Letter, he feels sad a lot because he's waiting for something. He's waiting for the letter, right? But what's interesting is that he doesn't stay sad through the whole story. His feelings change, and your feelings can change too. You might be feeling a little sad, a little melancholy, or some other feeling, and then boom, your feelings can change for all kinds of reasons. So think about that. Maybe you've noticed that in yourself, that your feelings can change quite quickly depending on what you're thinking about or your circumstances. All right, so there was Frog and Toad feeling, remember what they were feeling? A little sad together. But then, by the end of the story, they're feeling differently. Remember how they're feeling at the end? There they are. They're feeling happy together. So there we go. I hope you're feeling happy together with your family and that you enjoyed this story. Boys and girls, you take care. I'm going to put my letters away. Where they go, I keep them in a special box where I keep all the letters that I've gotten recently. And, oh my goodness. Boys and girls, do you see what I see? What's there? Frog and Toad have been listening the whole time. This is amazing. I'm going to take them outside though, okay? I've got to go now. Bye-bye, boys and girls. Bye. I'll talk to you soon, okay? See you later. Bye. Thanks for listening.